A rocket launch is brute physical force, but before any engine ignites, it must be simulated and controlled by millions of lines of digital code. On April 21, 2026, SpaceX bridged those two worlds. They announced an exclusive agreement to either acquire the AI-native code editor Cursor for $60 billion or pay a $10 billion collaboration fee to integrate its technology. This timeline maps Cursor's valuation. In November 2025, it closed a Series D at $29.3 billion. By April 2026, it secured this option deal, aligning with SpaceX's expected June 2026 public debut, targeting a $1.75 to $2 trillion valuation. Cursor backs up its price tag with high growth metrics, projecting over $2 billion in annualized recurring revenue and active adoption among 70% of the Fortune 1000. For Elon Musk, capturing this asset targets two endpoints: immediate dominance over the developer ecosystem and a massive infusion of data for xAI's frontier models. Structuring the deal this way allows SpaceX to enter the public markets as a frontier AI conglomerate, forcing a valuation that moves beyond the multiples of traditional aerospace. Utilizing a corporate call option mathematically bounds SpaceX's downside risk to exactly $10 billion. This matrix shows the binary decision tree SpaceX must resolve by the end of 2026. They can either exercise the full $60 billion acquisition or walk away and pay the $10 billion fee. On the right side of the matrix, the $10 billion acts as a prepayment for joint research. It secures xAI compute integration and exclusive data to train the Grok model, ensuring value even if the acquisition is never finalized. Moving to the left path, the full $60 billion buyout is a calculated figure. With Cursor already negotiating a $50 billion valuation, SpaceX pays a modest premium to gain absolute control of the asset. SpaceX can execute this maneuver without issuing new equity. They already hold the necessary capital. Massive cash flow from ongoing Starship government contracts and the high-margin recurring revenue of the Starlink network provide the liquid reserves to fund a transaction of this scale. The structure ensures xAI receives the proprietary data and integrated technology it requires, essentially making the $10 billion alternative a way to fund research at massive scale. Cursor's rapid adoption created a major operational vulnerability. Serving complex AI completions to millions of developers requires an enormous amount of inference computing power, which the startup cannot provide natively. This split-screen diagram illustrates the problem. On the left, we see the inference and fine-tuning bottleneck. As request volume increases, the pipeline narrows, creating the latency that degrades the coding experience. Now look at the right side. This represents xAI's core asset in the deal, the Colossus supercluster, a facility operating between 200,000 and over 555,000 GPUs. That facility relies on specific, high-density hardware architectures designed to process massive datasets in parallel. Connecting Colossus directly to Cursor means the operational constraint vanishes. The inference queues drop to zero, allowing continuous, high-speed data flow. Moving a software platform from compute-constrained to compute-dominant requires physical infrastructure and truly raw power at a massive scale. Eliminating that latency is the technical prerequisite for building fully autonomous agents that can code, test, and deploy entire applications. Acquiring Cursor provides xAI a structural advantage over Microsoft, OpenAI, and Anthropic in the specific tooling developers use every day. This architectural diagram compares three main approaches to AI coding. We have extension layers like Copilot, terminal applications like Claude Code, and native environments like Cursor paired with Grok. Extensions like Copilot operate within an existing editor. Integrating the Grok model directly into Cursor's native agent creates an environment that elite engineers at companies like Stripe and Coinbase prefer over legacy tools. By owning the application where engineers write their logic, xAI bypasses chat interfaces entirely. They capture the primary input vector for modern software development. This acquisition centers on a specific technical premise, that the structured logic of software engineering provides the most efficient data path toward artificial general intelligence. Every time a developer uses Cursor, they generate telemetry. Keystrokes, undo commands, and code corrections all serve as highly structured, logical training data. This graphic diagrams how that data creates an engine of continuous improvement. We start with human interactions at step 1, which generate the telemetry traces at step 2. That telemetry flows directly into the Grok foundational models for real-time training. Grok learns exactly how professional engineers solve complex logic problems. Grok then pushes updated, smarter agents back into the IDE. Internal estimates suggest this specific data loop can shorten the AGI timeline by 12 to 24 months. It is a seamless, continuous integration of human logic and machine learning, forging a direct pathway to true artificial intelligence. Cursor captures a unique corpus of real-world developer traces. Controlling that dataset creates a competitive moat that rival AI labs cannot replicate through synthetic data alone. These software advantages impact SpaceX's macro valuation. Currently, the company's worth is anchored in physical aerospace assets and orbital logistics, but hardware and logistics typically trade at lower multiples. Reaching a stable $2 trillion valuation requires a dominant software and AI narrative. That narrative must be fully established by June 2026, when SpaceX is expected to test its valuation on the public exchanges. This value stack models the financial impact. Physical rockets form the baseline. Next, we add xAI's computational capacity. Capturing the developer ecosystem completes the stack, reclassifying the company as an AI empire. This adds between $175 billion and $400 billion to the pre-IPO valuation. This maneuver converts a compute bottleneck into a strategic moat. Whether the full acquisition closes or not, the deal secures the data and the developer lock-in necessary to anchor a $2 trillion public debut.